Hey folks, Vortex here and welcome to my review of the BLON X Z JOJO. So this is a collab between BLON and Z Reviews or Z Reviews. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimers, I'd like to thank Linsol for sending me this sample to try, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, nor thoughts and opinions are my own. So yeah, this uses the same shell as the BL05 and the BL05S. I've tried both of those. Obviously the S model had that kind of jade green finish, you know the one I mean. And yeah, let's just get into it. So let's get a closer look at what they're like. So bit of crappy artwork, 10mm composite membrane dynamic. They might be the same that's in the High Bad Boy Z300 collab, I'm not quite sure. Obviously some information there, so 32 ohms, focuses, 20 Hz, 20 kHz, 106 dB. Again, 10mm composite membrane DD. Purple metallic, which I'll obviously look at in a bit. It's a 4-strand silver plated cable. Length, termination and the materials. Designed by BLON, made in China. Just a bit of info about Z Reviews. Information about BLON, obviously the BL03, which I still have. And yeah, perp on now mic. So let's have a look. It's a bit stiff. Got it. Dun dun dun. Done there. I've briefly used these before this video because I just wanted to try them out. Not much testing, I just briefly try them. So you get the old sandbag pouch thing. This kind of purpley pink cable, looks quite nice actually. Still got the same kind of connectors, straight 3.5. You get 3 lots of tips. Obviously you get some paperwork. User manual there since 2014. So yeah, 3 different kind of tips. Not sure what the difference is. That looks like a bit of a wider ball. Have a look at that another time. And obviously these kind of tips. And onto these themselves. So these are the same shell as the BL05 and 05S. The S is that, say, that green looking one. And that's it. Obviously the build seems very good. BLON always uses like really nice metals. To closer look. Uses the same kind of grill as the Z300. So yeah, I'm quite curious what these sound like, because from my brief trying, they sounded the same as the Z300s. I've not graphed these yet, or I haven't even used any of the bits that came with it, but yeah, I'll see you in the future. Yeah, so welcome to my review section of the BLON X Z JOJOs. I'm just going to call it the JOJOs from now on. So yeah, so it looks like with it fit into the cable. Cable is like a pinky purple. It's not what I would have thought of, but it's actually not in the flesh. It's actually quite a nice cable. It's good to see a different kind of colour. I think it's a 4-core cable. Yeah, it's a bit different. It's actually not too bad at all. Not what I would say, not what I normally would have expected to like, and it's not too bad. So obviously that's what it looks like attached. I didn't really have any issues with it. The cable seems fine. So let's take these off. And BLON don't normally offer, I think, like balance connectors or anything like that. I think everything they offer is always 3.5 as well. If you're interested, just get rid of that. So comfort on these, because BLON can always be a bit like hit or miss, and they're not too bad. Just bear in mind, you can see it's a funny shape. They do fit quite deep. I didn't really have any issues this time with these, plus they give you 3 pairs of tips. Now the grey ones that came included, the normal BLON ones, and the 2 white ones. The difference is one's got a wider bore than the others. Yeah, so you may have to tip swap, but I could actually use the included cables. So yeah, it's actually fine with it. As I said, they're quite small, so just bear that in mind. So yeah, build quality, getting straight into that. It was fine. BLON stuff's normally made pretty decent. I know some people had issues with I think with the O3s when they'd split, the shell would split, but I haven't heard of anything for a long time with the build. So yeah, these are fine. Again, you can see this funky colour. It's a metallic. as you can just about see in the light. You can see there. So yeah, bit different. Again, not my preferred choice in colour, but it's always good to see different kind of colours. And yeah, so power and sensitivity to these, I found them actually quite easy to power, to be honest. I had no issues at all. Again, it's a single dynamic driver, 10mm, nothing out of the ordinary. They're not like planars, so yeah, so nothing out of the ordinary. So timbre of these I actually thought was actually pretty decent. Now BLON, the last couple of items they've done, the timbre has been quite good. And again, this is, I think, the same really. I had no issues at all. So micro details and resolution, I thought was okay. And that's all I can say really. They're not bad. They're not, I think, amazing. They're kind of okay. Bear in mind, this is a $49 IM, so I didn't expect the earth. Yeah, it's pretty okay really. So soundstage and imaging on this pair is okay as well. Again, nothing amazing, but not too bad at all. Kind of strange that I actually went back to this shape, just thinking about it. Anyway, sound. So I'm going to put the graph on now so you can have a look. So as you can see, these are definitely a warmer, bassier set. They're not bass head level, but these are definitely on the warmer set, and they can have some slight muddiness to them, as you can see. But bass on these is pretty good. It impacts pretty hard. It has pretty good rumble, shall we say. They're not sub bass monsters, but they do have it. But then these are definitely on the bassier side. Again, I tried this with some electronic music and it sounds perfectly fine with it. Good impact, decay. It all sounds exciting, shall we say, and I was quite happy with it. So mid-range, it's a little bit, I won't say it's that scooped because it has calm upper mid-range, but male vocals can sound thick, shall we say. There's a little bit too much bleed, I think, so you can sound a little bit muddy, but that's being kind of nitpicking. But apart from that, the mid-range on this is fine. And they don't have that big massive V. They're not V-shaped either. These are more of an L shape maybe when you're listening to it. But the mid-range, I think, was fine. I'd prefer a little bit more going on. It just sound a touch veiled, but it's not too bad at all. You could tell that from just straight away from listening, because I listened to these first before grafting. And treble is, I'd say, a little bit on the more restrained side. I think more people may want more treble. These are definitely a darker set. I don't mind that. And I found female vocals, and this has actually sounded fine. I think some people may want more forward vocals, but I was actually quite fine with how they are. If more forward they are, more fake to me it sounds, and more fatiguing. I prefer it sound of a more smoother, maybe realistic approach, and these sounded fine. Now also, obviously, you've seen the big spike, about 14k. Now I did not notice that when I tried it, but your mileage may vary, and I can hear over 15,000 hertz, and I didn't actually notice it at all. So that's just, again, your mileage may vary. I didn't have a problem with it. Also, bear in mind, these couplers, like the clone couplers, are not accurate beyond 10. So bear that in mind as well. And yeah, treble was actually fine. I like that it's a little bit restrained. That's my preference. Obviously, I think a lot of like the Chinese market would probably want more treble for the female poison, as it's called. But I was actually quite fine with it. Yeah, I think some parts you may want more, and obviously the 8K is just a coupler. I'd like a little bit more going on just past the 8K to make it sound more full, but it's a $49 IM, so I was actually quite fine with it. And yeah, I'll probably end there. So conclusion is, do I recommend these? Yeah, they're not too bad at all. Just bear in mind that these are a warmer, darker set, and that big peak may bother you. It didn't bother me. I was quite fine with it. I like it's all a bit different now. I'm surprised they went back to the old shape. You may have issues with the really short nozzle, so you may have to tip swap. But I was happy with the overall kind of tuning with it. Again, it's a bassier to me a bassier, darker sounding set. You may want to EQ it up. You also may want a little bit more of a cleaner mid-range, but I was quite following me. I like, say, electronic music, and I think these sounded pretty good with what I like. You may want more of a neutral, cleaner tuning, but yeah, they're not too bad at all. Cable's decent, comes with 3 pairs of tips. Maybe a little bit overkill, but at least it gives you choice. And yeah, these things are not too bad at all. I like the Z300 from BLON, and this is kind of the same kind of ballpark as in tuning. But they're a little bit cheaper. But obviously, choice is yours. But yeah, they're not a bad set. It's a bit different. Tuning is, I'd say the tuning is quite consumer safe, really. And yeah, I'll probably end it there. If you want to know anything particular, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Take care.